Happy New Year, darlings. I thought I'd start us out in the great year 2026 with a reminder that is both for you and also for me that we are not the passive receivers of the culture we live in. We are, in fact, the co-creators of the culture that we live in. I think sometimes we forget this, especially the last few years have just been so weird. And I'm sure we have all had our grapplings with the limitations of our own personal power to change bigger hurts and aches in our collective. I just want to start this year by really remembering and reconnecting with how much power we actually do have. And that starts with who we're being and how we're being. So I made a little list, 7 items long, of 7 things I'd love to see in our culture this year. And the implication is, of course, for me, since it's my list, that this is 7 things I really want to practice, 7 things I want to be intentional about bringing into my life. And it's just a little bit of a reminder that, our little lives, plus everybody else's little lives, is this beautiful web that creates something else. So let's be intentional. I want to give you my 7 things I'd love to see in our culture this year. Number 1, a culture of kindness. So this is all about creating and being really intentional about creating warm moments with other people. This is strangers at the post office. This is while we're waiting in whatever line. While we are interacting with our neighbors, our loved ones, our colleagues, our family members, that we take the time and on a real practical level, just looking one another in the eye and having a genuine sense of curiosity about who is standing right in front of us. That creates warmth. That creates an atmosphere of kindness that I want to live in. Number 2, a culture of mutual respect. So this is about holding genuine regard for others. This is about embracing an idea that each and every person has a treasure trove inside of them. And there's a practice and a play of trying to find what that is. And I think this practice, is challenging when somebody thinks or behaves in ways that we don't understand. I think in really practical terms, when something like that comes up, we don't understand, and it's hard to find mutual respect to really kind of sit and contemplate life through their eyes, what their experiences may have been, how they might see the world based upon where they come from, the journey of their life, and really just taking that time to have a sense of generosity of spirit to really try to understand. And even if you don't agree, to find a basis of mutual respect. Number 3, I want to live in and be a part of a culture of unplugged human beings. I want to live in a culture where when we're together physically, whether for work or play, the phones are away, the phones are off. Where when we're making our art or doing our thing in the world, our phones are away, our phones are off. I want to live in a culture where we are truly in our breath, we're in our bodies, we're in the moment that's right here and right now, instead of being constantly pulled elsewhere with the tinging of the phones and the beeps and the boops. So practically speaking, you can put your phone on silent. You can even, they have a setting where you can allow certain people, like this is that if they need to reach you, they can reach you, or you can silence everybody else but them. That's a settings in your phone. But you can put your phone in a cabinet away from you or a drawer away from you, so that when you go to the habitual thing that most of us have of reaching for our phone, there's a step in between. You have to stand up, you have to walk across the room, you have to open the drawer, you have to open the cabinet. Practically speaking, it's about, setting certain parts of the day where you are going to pick up your phone and you are going to communicate with whomever you like. I think that that's a great way to be an unplugged human. I think a culture of human beings that are unplugged looks like it being completely socially acceptable to take regular breaks from social media. So, you could take the weekend off, or the weekend could be the only time you do it. It's your rules, your time, but making some kind of hours and limitations, taking breaks. Another practical application is just having your phone out of your bedroom so you're not scrolling at night. So that slowly, in a culture like that, where we are using the technology and not being used by the technology, we're slowly going to come back into being in the moment. I think so much of the mental health issues that we are facing as a culture have so much to do with that we're not built, our biology is not built to be spending all day like this. It's just we're not built for it. And when we don't do that, we are more present in our lives. We are right here and right now. We have our attention, we have our headspace, we have our breath. Maybe we have, with all of that, a little more sanity. And, we have our time. And what could be more valuable? Number 4, a culture of local community events. The creature inside of us all thrives when we are in real life with other human beings. So in 2026, I would love to see a reemergence of local community events. I would love to see more events happening. I would love to see us all going to the events, being bravely thrown by other people. I hope that in 2026, you make your circle. You go to your circle. You have your dinner parties. You have your bonfires. You trade in, Netflix nights for going to see a local band or a play. I hope that in 2026, we can remember, when it comes to connection, there is absolutely nothing like the real thing. Number 5, a culture of nature lovers. So my prayer is that 2026 be the year of open skies, be the year of backpacking and hiking and picnics and skiing and swimming and sitting by creeks and going to new landscapes, bird watching, whatever is your flavor, to get out and and reconnect with the living world of which we are all a part. It is one way that's free that we have of really being held. Like when you get really dropped in nature, you're really held by Mother Earth. That's an important feeling of belonging, I think. So many of us are, maybe even without realizing it, missing. So go outside and be held by the earth. That's one way to get right into the present moment, into our bodies, into the here and now. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. Number 6, a keep it simple culture. Let this be the year that we whittle down our to-do lists, that we focus on what is most essential and most important, and we let everything else float downstream. Let us make space in our life to breathe, to be, and to let life unfold as it will. Number 7, last but not least, a culture of soulful creativity. In the age of AI and robots, our soul deep creativity becomes medicine, both for ourselves and for the time. Every time we, create from a true place, not to feed the algorithmic taste, not to monetize, but because there is a soul call to make something. And we allow that force to flow through us. We get in touch with whatever is that mysterious intelligence that lives within us, and perhaps that mysterious intelligence that flows through us. To create from a soul level is to be the magician, to take the elements available and to create a new thing. And this is part of a vast human legacy our ancestors have been creating since we were making paintings on cave walls. So to continue in that legacy, to create for the sake of creating, is how we can stay human in 2026 and beyond. You'll notice that all 7 items on this list are supportive of our theme of the year, which is Wild Women, Modern World, where we're asking the question, how can we be our untamed, feral, creature, instinctual, intuitive, creative selves in this world, this modern world that has all these structures that don't necessarily support it and sometimes are in direct opposition to the wild. So how do we do that? So you'll notice every single of these 7 items is helping to that cause on how can we do it. So I really want to know from you. I want you to think about it right now, and maybe you're already brewing something, but what's one thing you'd add to the list? A culture of what? And maybe why? And I'd love to hear that in the comments. It'd be great to hear from each other and really thinking about, the things that we're also like committed to practicing. So what's one thing that you would add to this list? And while you're pondering that, I want to tell you a couple of things that we have coming up. So twice a year, the doors to Wild Woman Underground open. Wild Woman Underground is our online underground community where we gather once a week in circle. We do breath work, forest bathing, all manner of Wild Woman project circles, storytelling, book clubs, yoga classes, etc., etc., etc. We're together every single week. And you can tune in from anywhere. We share an app where all of the recordings for the last 3 years live. So you are, every time you sign up, you have access to that entire library. And you also have access to all these other amazing wild women. So we are in our 3rd year of Wild Woman Underground, which is phenomenal. But it's a very special place. And those of us who really engage in that place, we've just become really close. So if you're looking for a soulful sisterhood, if you're looking to have a regular spiritual community in your life, you might give this one a try and see if it's a good fit. We welcome women from all faiths or no faiths. You can sign up. It's a monthly membership, or if you sign up for a year, you get 2 months free. So to each her own. That opens up at the end of January. I'm going to put a link below this video if you want to get on the priority list to be the first to know all the details and when that's all going to happen. It's only going to be open for 7 days, and then the doors will close until the summer. We also have New Moon Meditation Adventure with me happening online. You can sign up. The next one's on January 19th. There's also circles, Wild Woman Project circles happening mostly at new moon time, but also at other times all over the world. So you can find a circle near you, click underneath this video. I'll put a link to that. And finally, if you are in or around Asheville, North Carolina, that's where I live. And I just started hosting a Wild Woman Project full moon circle. It looks like our February circle had just sold out. So the next one you can sign up for is at the beginning of March. And I would love to have you, or if you know anyone who lives nearby, please send a link. Love to be connected there. So those are all my announcements. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to continuing to co-create the culture that we want to live in. I'll see you in the comments.